What are your favourite movies, Ness?
Okay. You asked me this question and I feel embarrassed to share it really because it's very my era, I think.
That's great.
Boring female stuff. And I feel embarrassed because yours are going to be so much more edgy, Jonty.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, so Grease.
Yep.
I just love it. You're the one that I want. Do up to doobie doo.
I couldn't even tell you how many times I've seen that.
Oh, I know. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. Just put a smile on my face. I love Rizzo. I love them all. Just love it. I know all the routines. I know the dances. I just launch into the songs. I just love it.
Are you a big Travolta fan?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a kid growing up with Travolta in the 70s and I just wanted to be him. I didn't want to be Sandy. I wanted to be him. Or Kaniki. I think I liked Kaniki. He was
him with the leather jacket and the perfect curl.
Totally cool as, you know. Did you like Grease?
Yeah. That was one of the early movies I remember seeing as a kid. I was just going to say as well, I remember a friend of the show, Somerset Drayton, telling me at one point that I looked like, what's the character's name? John Travolta's?
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny Zuko.
Because I just had
Sandy.
a plain white shirt tucked into black jeans with a belt and a black jacket. She's like, you look like Danny.
Oh, I love that.
I'll take it.
I love that.
I'll take it.
He's so hot. Oh, the choreo was great. It was just beautiful. It was just, I swear that they were probably in love with each other at the time.
Just because of the chemistry.
The chemistry was just off the charts. And a part of that, I think, makes just that that makes a film, doesn't it, when you really believe that they really do love each other.
Did you see We Live in Time? It's
No.
the Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield one that's out at the moment. I won't yak on about it, but chemistry, like just
Beautiful.
off the wazoo. And all the marketing and hype was around seeing those two in a movie together.
Yeah, wow.
And it's just, you
Beautiful.
can't believe that they're not
Wow.
those characters.
Interesting.
Just because the chemistry is so off the charts.
Yeah, interesting. Do you want to go one for one?
Sure, I've got a list of 10 and I did a really nerdy thing and ordered them in release date from oldest to newest.
You are such a nerd. I love it.
You're gonna love this. Paths of Glory.
I don't even know that.
So it's a Stanley Kubrick film from the 1950s. Oh. And it's a war drama where, I won't say any more than that, but Kirk Douglas is in it. And I love Paths of Glory because it's one of very, very few movies that are about war that I think are actually truly anti-war.
Okay.
60 to 70% of it from about the half-hour mark is a courtroom drama as they kind of work through the ramifications of what happens in the first act in the trenches. Highly recommend Paths of Glory. I think it's on Stan.
Interesting. I won't be watching that.
Okay.
I'll go to bed.
You're missing out.
And Rob is in love with war movies.
I will say it's not. I wouldn't say it's like there's no violence. It's a courtroom drama.
Righto.
So it's mostly
Yeah, I can't do
white dudes
trenches
in
killing
offices
crap.
and white dudes in uniforms talking to each
right.
other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, my next one is The Sound of Music.
Nice.
Yeah, I just grew up with that and have seen that every school holidays that it comes on Channel 7 or Channel 9 and Mum would sit us down and my sister and I would just hook right in. It's very long, that one.
Yeah, it's 3 and a bit hours from memory.
Long. Yeah, it's a big commitment, but I just does never get old. You know, just love it so much.
Yeah, it's just hearing you talk about it. Martin Scorsese, famous director, talks about one sock movies.
Yeah.
Where they're movies where when he's getting ready to go out and the TV's on,
Yeah.
he's got one sock on and he sees it on. He just ends up sitting there watching the movie with one sock on.
I love that. That's
One sock movies.
Yeah,
if it's on, you watch it.
Oh, you just stop, don't you? That's right, because it's just fantastic. We don't have to wait for go through the ad breaks these days. We can just watch it from beginning to end, which is so great. Because as a kid, we had to just wait for the ads to happen. You know, I suppose it gave you a toilet break in a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
Next one I have is a movie called Carnival of Souls. It's and again, like I said, we're going from early to today. So
Tell
this
us when
is
that
from
one.
the 1960s. I want to say 62.
Okay. Neither of us were born, babe.
I know.
Yeah.
It's when the best movies were made in the 50s and 60s.
Okay. Golden era of Hollywood, are we talking?
Well, so, yeah, I mean, I was being kind of flippant
Cheeky.
there, but I actually think the 70s. But, yeah, 62, it's a spooky, gothic ghost movie.
Right.
That's very, very contained. It's very quaint. It's very quiet. Yeah, and just the imagery in it, and it's so beautiful. It's one of those, like, it's like a fairy tale where it's so beautiful in its language and in its cinematography and in its pacing, but it's got that fairy tale thing of just under the surface there's something not right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw it for the first time 3 or 4 years ago, and I there's an abandoned carnival, like circus tent, big tenty thing that's like in the distance in like the fields in at one point that I genuinely have dreams about, like driving along the road and see the
wow.
carnival off in the distance.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Wow,
So that's a
Jonty.
favourite of mine.
You ready for my next one?
Yeah, hit me with it.
The complete Santa Claus series.
Okay.
Yep, I know.
I can't even
know-
picture
Yeah,
which ones these
Tim
are.
Allen falls off the roof.
Oh,
Yeah, Santa Claus.
yeah.
Is that what they're called?
I
And
think
there's Santa
so.
Claus 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
The third one with Jack Frost.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen them. I know what you're
what?
talking about, but I don't know if I've actually watched them.
Was it an 80s genre?
I don't know.
Proper or 90s? Gosh, I don't know, but I pull those out at Christmas time and make the family watch them. We put the air conditioning on high, we make hot chocolates, we order pizza.
I think I have seen
Oh,
the
they're
first
just
one.
so happy.
It's 1994. It's
On
first
the
one.
90s. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. There's nothing not to like. It's romantic comedy. It's fun. It's Christmas themed.
Holiday
There's
theme, yeah.
Rudolph. It's just, makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like joy. It's just like my eyes can't get wide enough when I watch it, and I just like cry because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah,
That's
we have
awesome.
to watch them in sequence.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love movies that have like that tradition attached to them.
It's
Yeah.
like you and Love Actually on New Year's Eve, Christmas
Yeah.
Eve.
Every year we watch less and less of it.
Yeah, do you? Yeah, that's right.
We're
Because
just out
it's in the
back
background.
drinking. Yeah, it's in the background.
Okay,
Yeah,
your
for
turn.
sure. Next one I've got here is a movie called Andrei Rublev, which is a Russian movie from the 1960s. I'm going to blast through this because I'm going to bore everyone else. 1966, Andrei Tarkovsky. He's a Russian Soviet filmmaker. He has 7 films. All of them are amazing. I could have put any of them in here. I just picked this one because that's how I was feeling today. It's a kind of historical epic about an artist, but it kind of takes place amongst some pretty crazy Russian history. There's one sequence in particular with like a bell tower being constructed. That's like the most jaw-dropping thing you'll ever watch on the big screen. Similar to Sound of Music, I think it's like 3 hours and 40 minutes long.
Yeah, wow.
So you definitely watch it with an intermission.
Yeah.
I also could have put in Stalker is another one of his, which is based on a novel, which is a alien presence, unspecified, has landed just in the countryside, and the government have set up like an exclusion zone around it. And a stalker is someone who people pay him to take them into the exclusion zone to get to the center where there's meant to be a room where with like a metaphorical wishing well that'll grant you a wish.
Wow.
So it takes place with them going through the countryside into the exclusion zone.
Interesting.
Yeah. Super like raises lots of philosophical questions about
Yeah.
choice and fate and
You are a very interesting human being, Jonty.
just wait because
I am
I've gone
so
we're in
prescriptive.
the 50s and 60s. It gets whack as we keep going.
you are hilarious, man. You really are.
What's next for you?
Okay. Top Gun 1 and 2.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, I just say
I'm so
it
glad you like
and
the second one.
I can hear the music. Oh, mate, I've seen that twice in the cinema and I've watched it. I think I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, I've probably seen it 2 or 3 times
And
as well.
my eyes go wide open. I sit there and go, yeah! I get so pumped up. It's like one of those, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I don't know what it is. It's an adrenal love fest. I mean, it's got romantic thing in it. It's got power. It's got fuck you going on. It's got all the excitement. It's got war overtones. It's just cinematography in that last one. And the fact that Tom was actually in the back of one of those fighters being filmed, knowing which way he had to lean and move and behave and carry on. It's just like the dude, whether you like him or not, he is just committed to the craft.
Yeah.
Is he not? Did he direct that?
No, Joe Kosinski directed that one.
Great movie.
But it with that and also the Mission Impossible stuff, they kind of may as well be co-directed by Tom Cruise because like Chris McQuarrie's directed the last handful of those. But you watch all the behind the scenes stuff, it's basically him and Tom Cruise
together
doing everything together.
Yeah, a lot of Tom's money, I'm thinking.
Those movies start with Tom Cruise going, wouldn't it be cool if I did this? And then like, have you seen the most recent Mission Impossible?
Is that where he...
Dead Reckoning is what it's called.
Yes, I have. Can you remind me, are they driving and he's...
he does a base jump off motorbike off the cliff onto the train.
Oh, yeah.
So that started because Tom Cruise goes, I want to ride a bike off a cliff. And then Chris McQuarrie goes, I've always wanted to crash a train. And they go, great, we'll do that in one sequence. So like those movies start with Tom Cruise going, I want to do a thing. And then they work a script around it. So like is it Ghost Protocol where he climbs up the outside of the Burj Khalifa in Abu Dhabi?
Yes.
Insane. And he did that for real.
He's such an interesting cat, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. There's in Mission Impossible 6, which is the one with Henry Cavill, Mission Impossible Fallout, the take that they use in one sequence is the take in which Tom Cruise breaks his ankle and keeps acting.
Wow.
And runs off frame.
Wow.
So like he's so committed.
In agony.
He jumps between 2 buildings and in the landing process breaks his ankle and jogs off.
Oh my gosh.
And then they had to shut down production. But he was so committed that he finished the shot and then was like, I just broke my ankle. Got to go.
See, that just blows my mind. Really does, the commitment. Just when I know that one of his movies are coming out, I get very excited.
Mission Impossible 8's about to come out.
Yeah, I just love the franchise. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing not to love. It's just a great day out. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it so much I'll even do burgers after it. It's that good.
Yeah, wow.
Do you know what I mean? Make it like an absolute event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why I remember Top Gun Maverick specifically? The first time I saw it, I went with Claire because like you, I think I saw it twice in the theatres. Someone was like dry retching in the row behind us.
Oh, wow. Because they were, why?
No idea.
Okay.
So we just had to get up and like,
that's
I checked they're
awful.
okay and they seemed, they were
Awful.
still dry retching. We're like,
Yeah,
I don't really
wow.
feel like getting spewed up.
Wow.
It's weird the things you remember.
Yeah, I get you. Before you were born, in the 80s when I met Rob, he was in San Diego, and the Top Gun fleet would do touch and goes out over San Diego. And Rob would take me on his motorbike to the cliffs of San Diego, and we would watch them, watch these Top Gun pilots.
Planes, yeah.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. And the movie had just come out, and we all were wearing bloody Ray-Bans. We had the denim jackets. We had leather jackets. We had shoulder pads. We had the whole look going on, Jonty. The whole entire thing. It was just, And to have that roll back again, was it last year, that movie?
2022, I want to say.
Oh,
23.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It feels sooner than, not as, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gee, time flies.
Time does fly.
I loved it. What about you? Next one.
Next one for me is The Graduate.
Oh, okay.
You seen The Graduate?
Yeah, very long time. Are we in the 70s now?
67.
Oh, shit, I was one.
Next one's in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, what's the next one?
I love The Graduate so much. I watch it 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, Jonty.
I just love it. And part of it is I'm such, like, my earliest memories of listening to music
Yep.
is Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, yeah.
So it's as much
Me
about
too.
the movie as it is the
Oh, the
music,
music.
and everything about it. I
Love
just love
Simon
it.
and Garfunkel. Grew up on that music, Jonty. I did.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad had the albums on the record player.
Yeah, I vividly remember going on holidays in the Blue Mountains at a holiday house and opening up a cupboard. I would have been, Mum will probably correct me on this, 8 or 9, and found a bunch of vinyl records.
Wow.
Pulled one out,
And it was Simon
and it was
Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel,
Yeah.
and I physically put it on and put the needle down,
Yeah,
and
cool.
was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So like,
Yeah.
I have strong
OG.
connections to that stuff.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a period in time, wasn't it? Amazing. Okay, that's a good one. Okay.
Do you have any others?
Yeah, I love a good period drama, and I
Yep.
bore you all shitless with my Bridgerton period drama palaver. But I think things like Pride and Prejudice,
Yep.
Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, the 2000s ones, like the
Yeah, definitely. Were they 2000?
something like that, or maybe late 90s.
Yeah, I think it's been made. They've been made so many times.
'Cause there's
I
the
know
famous-
Keira Knightley
Yeah,
was
yeah.
in a more recent one, but there's ones that are much older than that
So that's the one I'm thinking
with
of.
Emma Thompson. So going back, I'm imagining that was the 80s, maybe, Jonty. But they're just the story. You know, it doesn't really matter when it was made in my brain. It's actually the story
It's
that I fall in
timeless.
love.
Yeah.
I fall in love with. I love anything period. I really do. It's just because it's always around a love interest, isn't it? They're always, and it's the purity of how they do love depicted in those stories.
It's
And I
very
love-
repressed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's all in
Beautiful.
very
Yeah.
not like
Virginal.
it's almost like there's huge emotional
Yeah.
moves going on, but everyone's very
Oh yeah.
particular, and so it's all in like the slightest giveaways and the slightest movements.
The
Yeah.
slightest touch of her dress, or
Exactly.
the slightest
Yeah.
brushing past her hand,
Yeah.
or the dropping of the hanky, or the ribbon over the shoulder. It's just all of that. I think it builds a tension that
Yeah.
we don't have in movies like we've talked about that have won the Oscars this year, where it's just big, sexy scenes, raunchy, sexy scenes with lots of skin. Whereas you can feel the love intensely in these period dramas. I think it's really clever how they do it. I think it's a whole lot trickier from a cinematography perspective
Yes.
than it would be, okay, frontal nude scene, close set, they do the scripted sex scene. I think that's I would prefer to sit down and watch one of these. I sound like such a prude, don't I?
I was going to say, I have a recommendation for you based on that.
Sorry, I sound like such a dag. Have I become the old lady I never wanted to become? It's time for a haircut. It's time for a haircut.
We'll have a buzz cut next week. I have a recommendation for you based on that. Have you
Okay.
heard of Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
No.
You're going to love it.
Is it period?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
It's French, 1800s.
Subtitles?
Yeah, subtitles.
Okay.
1800, set in the
Yep, yep,
1800s. It's recent, like 2018 or 19.
Okay.
And it's about a woman who has recently become engaged,
Yep.
but like in classic 1800s,
Yep. Genre?
is being forced into that marriage.
Oh, no.
And she goes away and falls in love with a woman who's I can't remember what her role is, but basically it's a forbidden love to women, and in 1800s France,
Whoa.
there's that added layer of like taboo with two women, and it's like you say, it's very delicate, very
Gentle.
like heartbreaking, but also like in the best possible way. Like it's a really heartbreacking but affirming
Does
love
she
story.
end up marrying the...
Well, that'd be a spoiler. You got to watch the movie, Ness.
I like knowing the ending.
No.
Oh, I prefer to know an ending, then I can relax. It's a thing for me. It's an anxiety thing, Jonty.
okay.
If I know the ending, then I can relax through the whole movie because I'm not going to be tricked or surprised.
Okay. Well,
Isn't
I will
that
say
funny?
there's no big like surprises or twists
Okay.
in it.
Yeah, okay. I can
What
do
you
that.
think's going to happen at the end happens.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Oh, poor woman.
So I think because it's
Is it based on a true story?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
but yeah, period piece.
I love it.
Very delicate.
Thanks
All
for
the
that.
costumes.
Yeah, the cozies, the settings, the detail to the period.
Yeah.
And set design and antique furniture. I love all of that. Since I was a little kid, I've loved all that. Not since I've become a daggy old lady. It's since I've been little, I have loved that stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting?
You'll love Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Thanks.
Sounds right up your alley.
What's yours?
My next one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, good movie.
The 1971.
Yeah, I pay that.
I couldn't tell you how many times I've watched it.
Oh, interesting.
Every time I watch it, I see something new in it.
Yep.
I just think it's as close to a perfect movie as exists.
Oh, aren't you so sweet? Can I tell you, I'm kind of relieved you've got that on your list.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're a bit of a weirdo, you know?
Yeah, you know what's after it?
What?
The Exorcist,
Oh, yeah, no.
1974.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
73, sorry.
Yeah, wow. I can only pay that because I've met Linda.
Yeah. Which still blows my mind.
It's too funny.
That's the duality of man, isn't it? The Exorcist and Willy Wonka.
I know. I just love that you love that. But it's just, that the story, I could almost hear the story more than I can actually watch that film. I find it too stressful. I don't do well with horror and that kind of thematic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, it's like spicy food.
Yeah.
If you don't like hot food,
Yeah.
like it's not like you've got to. No one's forcing you to put hot sauce on your lasagna.
Yes, yeah, fair enough.
And people that do force hot sauce into everything, it's like, what are you doing? You're ruining
ruining
it.
your taste buds, mate.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
No.
Yeah. Do you have any more on your list?
I've got one more genre.
Yep.
Because it encapsulates so many.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
I think I know what this is, but go ahead.
There's a couple, and it's the Marvel franchise. So it's
It's not what I was expecting.
okay. Well, I am going to go Disney because I know that you would expect that was my thing, and I can't wait to see Snow White because that's just been released. So I'm really excited to go and
Brand
see
new
that.
Snow White.
It's a brand new Snow White. Yeah.
There you go.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that, but I just fell in love with, like, a big crush on Iron Man.
Yep, fair enough.
Oh, he's just, I don't know what that is. I just loved that storyline. I felt really sad when they wrote him off. And if I go down the Disney thing, Pirates of the Caribbean, that series, I loved Johnny in all of that. That character is just a crack up. I love that genre and entertainment. Yeah, I feel entertained by watching those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
my list.
There's a really interesting thing that I've talked to a few people about. There's this thing where people sometimes prefer Iron Man, for example, in the big team-up movies, and
right.
aren't actually that much of a fan of the movies themselves, like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Someone I was talking to recently said the same thing about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, right.
They feel like the two Doctor Strange standalone movies are fine, but the character of Doctor Strange really comes to life
in the other movies.
In Avengers.
Yeah, I love the Avengers. Yeah, it's great. I think I prefer when Tony Stark is doing Iron Man and the other characters have vignettes.
Sure.
Whereas he's the lead.
Yeah.
And it's all about Iron Man, and then
which he kind of falls into that role with the Avengers, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's kind of the lead.
Yeah, and then the other dudes, come in and assist in different ways.
Yeah, because that first arc really is. It starts and ends with Iron Man.
Yeah,
he's really the main character.
Yeah, it's how it started, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and they've kind
good
of
franchise. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like this definitely isn't an original thought, but I've just had it. I wonder if part of the reason since Avengers Endgame, they haven't quite hit their stride in the same way as they don't have that Iron Man figure. They don't have that single. He's not quite the main character, but he's the one that really tied that first 10 years together.
Phenomenal.
They don't really have that.
No, they don't.
Yet with what's happened since then.
Good, hilarious conversation.
I have
you got
heaps
a
to
last
say
one?
about. Well, yeah, I'll just rip through the last 4 of these really quick. I have to honour the late David Lynch, who passed away earlier this year with Eraserhead, which is his first feature-length movie. I could have put cheating, but I could also have put the TV series of Twin Peaks in there, which is
I know you love that.
his stuff as well. But really, any of his feature films, but Eraserhead, a lot of the time will float to the top for me. It's a really surreal, creepy, but like bizarre, surrealist black and white film that makes no sense. It's one that you feel, you don't understand, which I like.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a wild card. Gremlins 2.
Oh, that is so left of where you were going, brother.
So I love Gremlins.
Yeah.
And I watch Gremlins every year for Christmas. But Gremlins 2 is like a 90-minute feature-length Looney Tunes movie. Like it's joke a minute. When there isn't a verbal joke, there's a background visual joke. It's just constant the whole movie. It is so funny.
Yeah, wow.
And it's an early example of like speaking of Marvel starts to get self-aware at a certain point, and like Deadpool starts making fun of Marvel movies.
Yes.
Gremlins 2 is like a piss take of Gremlins.
Okay.
And it came out in the 90s.
Yeah, wow.
So I just love Gremlins 2.
And I love that you love it. That makes me feel better about you.
Then the last two, these are recent. So Lake Mungo is an Australian movie that came out in 2008. It's a found footage faux documentary.
Wow.
That's like the most authentically Australian thing I've ever seen, which is about it's I hesitate to call it a horror movie because it's not. But yeah, it's about a young girl, late teenager, I think, drowns in the lake and they find the body, but then the family start to experience strange things happening in the house. Is it her ghost is kind of the setup. And so they set up cameras and it kind of just predates the paranormal activity stuff, but it's not that. It's very grounded. And it's just like really like devastating, but also like really warm in how it presents some of that stuff that it's talking about. A little bit hard to find, but if you can find Lake Mungo, highly recommend it. And then the last one is from 2020 is a movie called Possessor, which is talking about horror movies and body horror. Goes full circle all the way back to David Cronenberg. This is written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son of David Cronenberg, famous for The Fly, Videodrome, etc. Is about a agency that have the ability they have possessors who are people that they can implant into other people to carry out hits. So it starts with Andrea Riseborough's character getting implanted into a young girl, like teenager, takes over her body, takes out the hit, so kills someone, and then the host terminates, so commits suicide, and then she zips back out into her own body. She's in like a headset back in like a bunker type deal. So as far as anyone else is concerned, the person that they wanted to kill gets killed by someone else who then commits suicide. So it's like a clean espionage way of taking out hits. So the story happens when Andrea Riseborough's character, they lock onto this character who's played by I've forgotten his last name now. Doesn't matter. He's a great actor. I've just blanked on his name. He was just in Kraven the Hunter as the dude that has superpowers. He's the son of like the CEO of this tech company. So they're trying to like, there's implications that the hitmen, the company that have the possessors, are trying to like break into the tech company and like blah, 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 blah. So she locks into him, possesses him, tries to take out the hit, but he pushes back. So it's like for most of the movie, you're not sure who is in control of the main character.
Whoa.
I won't say where it goes beyond that, but it's a really, really interesting movie. We talked recently about doppelgangers and doubles and the let them theory and Severance and all that sort of stuff. It goes to that deep fear that is a really present thing with social media and with our digital selves, where it's like, we're not in control of how people interact with our presentations of ourselves.
Yep.
So it's a sci-fi. It gets pretty gory. So I would also caution people, like it's a body horror movie, but it's
Not my vibe.
science fiction. It's got all that. So if you're a sci-fi person, I'm particularly thinking of Odd Rev, who listens to the show. Go and watch Possessor. I think you'll love it. I could have listed 30 movies, but those are my 10 for today.
You have the most eclectic arrangement of top 10. You just fascinate me.
Went from Paths of Glory to Possessor.
You are the most interesting human being. I feel so shallow and so boring. You are just incredibly interesting. Jonty Cornford.
I'll take that as a compliment.
You are really an interesting human being. Yeah, you really are.